has been generating a lot of buzz online.
Yeah, it's really interesting how fast information spreads online, but also how fast misinformation spreads online. And today we're going to be talking about this program called the AICTE Free Laptop Johanna 2024. And
it does have a good ring to it.
It does.
Yeah.
Free laptops for students who wouldn't want that, right?
Yeah, who wouldn't want that? Yeah.
It's too good to be true.
Exactly.
Yeah, the AICTE, or All India Council for Technical Education, is a very well-known governing body for technical education in India. They have a lot of really important programs, but this Yojana, or scheme in Hindi, is completely made up.
And it's crazy how much this rumor spread. I mean, we saw articles dating back like a year talking about this supposed scheme. Imagine being a student thinking you might get a free laptop, and then boom, it's not real. So,
yeah. And heartbreaking in a way too, because people get their hopes up, for sure. And the ACTE actually had to step in and set the record straight, right? They issued a formal notification on April 19th, actually.
Oh, wow.
Of 2024, debunking the whole thing.
Good for them.
Yeah, and you can actually find it right on their website, clearly labeled, so there's no confusion there. And actually, we found this article by Narendra, and he was talking about this very issue. And, he wasn't promoting the hoax or anything.
Oh, good.
He was actually trying to warn people about it, which is so important.
Yeah, it is important.
Because if somebody makes a decision based on this false promise, like maybe they go out and, borrow money or something thinking they're going to get this free laptop.
Right.
The harm is real.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is really sad when something like that happens because people get their hopes up for something positive to happen in their lives, and then it turns out to not be true. But that actually reminds me of a program that is legitimate, and it's been creating a lot of buzz for good reason.
Yeah, this one is the real deal.
This one is the real deal.
Not a hoax.
We're switching gears now geographically over to Jharkhand, where the agarwal Yojana has been making headlines.
This is a big one.
It is a big one, and it's an ambitious one. We're talking about a program that aims to provide housing for 8 lakh families by 2026. 8 lakh with an L is a unit in India that represents 100,000. So we're talking about 800,000 families potentially getting homes.
Yeah, that's a ton of people.
That's a lot of people.
Launched just last year by the Jharkhand state government, the goal is to address housing insecurity among underprivileged families.
And they're putting their money where their mouth is on this 2 lakh rupees per family.
Yeah, that's a significant amount of money.
Significant sum of money in that context. And it's intended to help families build a decent home.
It's not just a one-time payment either, right?
Right.
2 lakh rupees are distributed in 8 installments through direct benefit transfer, or DBT.
Yeah.
So basically the money goes straight into the recipient's bank account.
That's good.
Reduces the risk of corruption, good for transparency and all that.
So how do you qualify for this program? Well, first off, you have to live in Jharkhand.
Makes sense.
It's a state-sponsored program. So this is specifically for people who are living within that state.
And there are some income requirements as well.
Yeah, what are those?
Your annual income has to be below a certain threshold, specifically under 3 lakh rupees to be eligible.
Oh, okay.
So really making sure that assistance is going to the people who need it most.
And you have to actually need a house, right?
Exactly. You can't already own a proper permanent home.
Right.
And there's actually a term for this in Hindi, puka makan, meaning a solidly built structure as opposed to just like a makeshift dwelling.
Okay.
Important distinction.
Yeah, and you also can't have gotten benefits from a similar program, the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, in the past. So this is to make sure that, it's not like people are double dipping on these government programs for housing.
Right, makes sense.
So with all this talk about eligibility, I bet you can imagine why the Abu Awas Yojana waiting list is a pretty big deal right now.
Yeah, I bet it is.
People want to see if they've made it onto that list because it's the first step towards potentially getting a home.
Of course. That's huge for people.
Yeah, a really big deal. It's interesting how much attention these 2 programs have been getting online. One completely fake, and then the other one like a really essential program for people.
Yeah, it really makes you think about, how we get our information these days and how we decide what to trust.
Totally, because it's so easy to come across something online and be like, oh, wow, is this real? Should I know about this? And then you go down like a rabbit hole.
Right, and especially if it's something you're really hoping for. Right?
Yeah.
Like, who wouldn't want a free laptop or a new home? So it's natural to get caught up in the excitement.
I know, it's like that friend we all have who shares something on social media without even checking if it's true.
Exactly, and then you're left wondering, wait, should I be excited about this too?
Exactly, and then it's like, how do you even verify if something like that is real?
All right. Well, with that laptop thing, for example, going straight to the source, like the AICPE's official website would have cleared things up instantly.
That's true for so many things, I feel like.
Yes.
Not just government programs, but anything really.
Oh, yeah.
Like you see some new tech gadget or a crazy health claim, and it's like, hold on a second, let me do some digging before I get too carried away.
Exactly. A little bit of healthy skepticism goes a long way.
I love that. A little healthy skepticism.
It's important.
So I guess the takeaway here is that it's great to be curious about these programs, especially ones like the Abua Awaz Yojana that are actually making a real positive impact, but we can't just take everything at face value.
Absolutely. Do your research, look for credible sources, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Well said. And on that note, I think we've done some serious digging today.
I think so.
From debunking a hoax to really understanding how this housing program works. Hopefully you're leaving today's deep dive feeling a little more informed and a little more empowered to navigate the world around you.
Absolutely. And remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll catch you next time for another deep dive.